Familiar, you're familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hello students, so welcome back to my video. So this is the video part number 8 for you. Okay, so now in this video I'm going to discuss the concept called Einstein's velocity addition theorem. Okay, it is a derivation part for you. So we're going to obtain the expressions for some velocities. Okay, so velocity of a particle, so measured with respect to two frames of reference. So that the velocities are also called relativistic velocity equations also. Okay, so now let us see how we have to consider the velocity of a particle with respect to two frames of reference, as I told. Okay, as usual, so we should have two frames of reference like S and S dash, right? So they are rectangular frames of reference in relative motion. That means one of the frame, that is S dash, is always considered as moving frame of reference with respect to S, correct? So that the S dash is moving with the uniform velocity V, right? So along the x-axis. So this is our regular reference. So S dash is moving with the velocity V along the x-axis with respect to S, right? Okay, now I am considering a particle, so moving with some velocity. So what are the components of the velocity of a particle then? So look at the consideration here. So Ux, Uy, Uz be the components of the velocity of a particle in S. That means the particle is in the frame of reference S only, fixed frame of reference S, whose velocity components along all x, y, z axes are Ux, Uy, Uz. And if the same particle velocity is measured with respect to S dash, so we take it as Ux dash, Uy dash, Uz dash, correct? And then, so they are considered with respect to S dash as I told. Then what are the equations for that Ux, Uy, Uz? Because they are along three mutually perpendicular axes as I told, right? So you can take Ux as dx by dt, Uy is equal to dy by dt, Uz is equal to dz by dt. So rate of change of displacement of the particles along x, y, z. So that is in frame S. Similarly, with respect to frame of S dash, we have Ux dash equal to dx dash by dt, Uy dash is equal to dy dash by dt, dt dash, okay? dz dash is equal to dz dash by dt dash. Of course, they are all with respect to time t dash here. So these are all with respect to time t, these are all with respect to time t dash. Okay, now note down these two equations 1 and 2. Then we can apply the Lorentz transformation equations. This is already we have derived in the previous video. Okay, so consider that Lorentz transformation equations for the coordinates. So they are related from one frame to other frame, right? So you know that. So x dash is equal to what? X minus vt divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. So that is the main important equation for you to see the relation between x dash and x. Because the particle or the frame of reference is moving along the x-axis here, so there is a relation between x dash and x here. They are not equal. Whereas if the frame is not moving along y and z axis, then we can consider y dash is equal to y, z dash is equal to z, right? So, and also we have derived the equation for time according to Lorentz transformation. But in Galilean transformation, t dash is equal to t, right? But in Lorentz transformations, the t and t dash are not equal. So again we have a relation like t dash is equal to t minus vx by c square and divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square as a component. Okay, now use these transformation equations to get the velocities of a particle now. Because if you know the exact position coordinates according to Lorentz transformation, if you differentiate with respect to time t, you will get the velocities with respect to s. If you differentiate with respect to t dash, you will get the equations with respect to frame of reference s dash, right? So let us see that now, okay? So the differential of the above equations means you have to take the differential of these equations here. So you will get that dx dash. So if x dash is there, so differential of the x dash you can write it as dx dash. And right side we have v is constant, square root of 1 minus v square by c square is constant, okay? Except that we can apply the differential for the variable, that is dx minus v into dt divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, okay? So this is the differential of equation of x dash. Let it be equation 3. Similarly, y dash is equal to y, so you can write the differential as dy dash equal to dy, and the next one dz dash equal to dz. correct? And what about for t dash? Applying the differential again. So dt dash equal to dt minus v by c square constant. So into dx divided by square root of 1 minus v square by c square is again constant. So differentials of these equations, I will take it as now equations 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so write down up to this equation 6, then I will proceed here. Okay, now the next step is dividing these three equations, that is 3, 4 and 5, okay, by 6. So we get dx dash by dt dash, right? Because we have dx dash here, dividing by equation 6 we get dt dash, right? So that is dx dash by dt dash. So here we have dx minus v into dt and divided by, so this dt minus v by c square into dx only, because so square root of 1 minus v square by c square, square root of 1 minus v square by c square get cancel each other. Okay, so left with this equation. So on simplification we get, so you divide numerator and denominator by dt is the next step. Okay, so we'll get dx by dt here and minus, so dt cancels, left with only v. So divided by, again dt cancels, so 1 minus v by c square into dx by dt. So after dividing numerator and denominator by dt. Okay, so that is the equation 7 for you. And similarly, so what is the differential of dy dash with respect to dt dash? So you'll get dy dash by dt dash in the left hand side is equal to dy, this new denominator will come to numerator part now, dy into square root of 1 minus v square by c square. So divided by this term again, dt minus v by c square into dx. Clear? Okay, so rearranging this equation again by dividing by dt as usual. So we'll get dy by dt into square root of 1 minus v square by c square, the whole divided by, so 1 minus v by c square into dx by dt. Okay, take it as equation number 8. Okay, then similarly the last equation, that is dz dash divided by dt dash is equal to, so dz, okay, we have dz here, so dz divided by dz into, so this term again, so dz into square root of 1 minus v square by c square, so divided by dt minus v by c square into dx. Okay, so note down the equations carefully, dz by dt into square root of 1 minus v square by c square whole divided by 1 minus v square by c square into dx by dt will get as equation number 9 for you. Okay, now let us proceed with this equation 7, 8 and 9. Okay, now look at the equations 1 and 2. So where we have the velocity terms as dx dash by dt dash as ux dash and dy dash by dt dash as uz dash and dz dash by dt dash as uz dash, right? So now use that equations and write down the equations now in the form of u. That means, so you can write the equation 7 as now ux dash equal to, so dx by dt is equal to what? Ux, okay, minus v. So divided by 1 minus v square by c square, again we have dx by dt here, right? So take it as ux. Similarly, what about the second equation? So that is dy dash by dt dash, right? So we'll write it as now uy dash is equal to uy into square root of 1 minus v square by c square divided by, look at the equation 8, that is 1 minus v by c square into, so dx by dt is again ux. Okay, similarly from equation 9 we can write it as uz dash is equal to uz into square root of 1 minus v square by c square divided by 1 minus v by c square into again ux. So this is what the simplified equations of the velocity of a particle. So with respect to moving frame of reference s dash, okay, that is ux dash, uy dash and uz dash. So related to the velocity of the same particle with respect to fixed frame of reference, that is ux, ui and uz. Okay, so this relation between the velocities of a particle with respect to both s and s dash frame, okay, are called the relativistic velocity transformation equations. They are called relativistic velocity transformation equations according to the velocity addition theorem. Clear? So further, how to get the inverse transformation equations? So you know that already. If the inverse transformation equations can be obtained by interchanging the primed and unprimed quantities, that means, so what we call it as ux dash, you can call it as ux prime also, right? Ui dash or ui prime, uz dash means uz prime. Okay, just you can interchange the primed and unprimed quantities are ux, ui, uz, unprimed. Okay, so by interchanging that primed and unprimed quantities and writing minus v wherever we have v, So you can put it as minus v now in the equations 10, 11 and 12. Okay, so that you will get the inverse transformation equations like this. Okay, so they are actually ux equal to ux dash plus v, because you have here minus v, you get plus v. Here you have ux dash ux, and here you have unprimed ux, it should be ux dash now. So like that. So divided by again 1 minus v is there, so you have to write it as 1 plus v, 1 plus v by c square into ux dash. Okay, similarly uy is equal to uy dash square root of 1 minus v square by c square. Here there is no change. Okay, should not write plus, it is actually minus only, because v square is, okay, v square means even if you write minus v, after squaring it will become same minus sign here itself. Okay, divided by 1 plus v by c square into ux dash, and uz equal to uz dash into square root of 1 minus v square by c square divided by 1 plus v into ux dash by c square. That is the equation 15. So 13, 14, 15 equations are called actually inverse transformation equations, velocity transformation equations. Okay, so further in both velocity transformation equation and inverse velocity transformation equation, we are assuming that the particle is moving along x-axis and even the frame of reference is also moving along x-axis only, right? So with that condition we can have ux is equal to only u. Okay, so no need to consider the particle velocity along other directions like y and z. So you can consider it as components uy equal to 0 and uz equal to 0. Only the component ux is there, so that you can just write it as particle velocity as u. So with this, applying these conditions, we get the equations as ux dash equal to, so instead of writing component ux dash, so you just write it as u dash. Okay, and remaining by assuming ua equal to 0 and uz equal to 0, you will get only u minus v divided by 1 minus uv by c square in the first equation, and ui dash equal to 0 again, uz dash equal to 0 again. Okay, so similarly in case of inverse velocity transformation equation also, you will get u is equal to, by interchanging minus v. Okay, so in place of v I have to put minus v now, so minus to minus plus, so u dash plus v 1 plus u dash v by c square. Of course we are interchanging the prime quantities also, priming and unpriming quantities. Okay, so these are actually the equation 16 and 17 for you consider as the velocity of a particle in a particular direction. That is actually along x-axis, it is understood, right? So you can write that velocity of the particle in a given direction according to the velocity transformation theorem. Okay, so we have some particular application of these velocity transformation equations here, so that special cases we can discuss now. Okay, so look at these special cases. So case 1, when we consider both velocity u and v are very small, okay, because v u is nothing but what, velocity of the particle, and what is that v? V is the velocity of moving frame of reference s dash, right? So normally they should be very small compared to velocity of light c, correct? Then with that condition, in the above equations what you will get, uv by c square is there in the term, right? So both u and v are very small compared to c square, so you can ignore that numerator compared to denominator, that is c square is there particularly, so it is tending to 0. Okay, so if it tends to 0, we get only the equation as u dash, velocity of the particle with respect to s dash, u dash is equal to u minus v. So this u dash is equal to u minus v is nothing but what? It is a Galilean transformation equation relation, right? So we call it as Galilean velocity transformation equation, right? So the Lorentz velocity transformation equation reduces to Galilean velocity transformation now with the condition u and v are very small to c compared to c. Okay, similarly in the second case we can see that no particle can have velocity greater than the light, that means velocity of light itself is the ultimate velocity. Okay, so in order to see that, so that means velocity of the light is always same with respect to s and s dash, that is what you have to prove, right? So for that let us consider now again u is equal to c. Suppose velocity of the particle is moving with the velocity of light c. Okay, so it is a particle in the sense what you can assume that particle as a light signal, light emitting particle. Okay, so velocity of the light signal as a particle you assume, then u is equal to c. So with that condition you will see u dash is equal to c minus v divided by 1 minus cv by c square, right? So wherever we have u, I am substituting it as c now. Okay, c minus v by 1 minus c into v by u square. So uv was there, so cv by c square. So simplify this, you will get c minus v by 1 minus v by c square, right? So that is equal to c minus v by again c minus v by c. So you can cancel this term c minus v and left with only c. So u dash is equal to c again. So if you assume u is equal to c, that is with respect to fixed frame of reference s, and u dash is also equal to c, that is with respect to moving frame of reference s dash. So both are finding the same velocity of the particle equivalent to velocity of the light. So that means, so velocity of the light signal as observed by both s and s dash will be same. Okay. So thus you can write here, observer O dash also finds the light signal is moving with the velocity of light itself. Okay. So that means there is no difference between the observer, whether it is with respect to fixed observer or moving observer. So both are finding the velocity of the light is same. Okay, if that velocity of light is emitted by a particle which is moving with the velocity of light. Okay, so that is what you can prove using this velocity transformation equations. Clear? Okay, then I will see you in the next video again.